For sure. I mean, you imagine it today that if a plane took off without any landing lights at Heathrow, for example, or at any airport, well, this was the landing lights for ships coming in, and there was hundreds a day coming through here, so it was, critically important. Well, it was all built in Birmingham in 1888 by Chance Brothers, and it's what's known as a first order lens, which is the best quality lighthouse lens you can get. It was all rowed ashore through the surf in open rowboats and then reassembled up here. Each section is individually made, so they're cast into a cast and they're hand ground into the individual shape.
So how many different bits of glass are there?
Well, there's 3 panels in each section, and there's 9 sections.
None of it broke on the way?
No, none of it broke on the way, which is quite amazing, and it's worth about $5 million in today's money, so it's irreplaceable because there's nobody here that can make them.
Why is it worth so much?
Lead crystal glass is very expensive. If you imagine a crystal glass that you'd have in the house, it's very fragile. Well, this is that solid, you can hit it with a hammer and it just chips and it doesn't smash.
Why is it important that it has to be such a good quality glass?
Well, this is known as a landfall light, and the ships coming from North America and Northern Europe, Cape Otway was their first landfall. So they were looking for the entrance into Bass Strait. So this would be shining out about 44, 45 kilometres and giving a really bright light. It's equivalent to 1 million candle power. So it needed to be that strong to enable the ships to pick it up before coming into Bass Strait. It was critical in saving lives. There was thousands and thousands of ships coming here for the gold rush, for immigration to Australia. They called it the beacon of hope. It gave people safe passage into the new colony of Australia and the goldfields. The new light, what we call a Tupperware light, because it's basically plastic, is only 100,000 candle power, and it barely makes 34 kilometres because it's lower down, but it's also nowhere near as bright. So nowhere near as good, but it's cheap.
So is there any role for this light anymore in these days of GPS and radar?
Well, the old tower has pretty much gone like medieval castles and things like that. It's more of a novelty now, and historical importance. But lighthouses now aren't as important because ships have GPS and radar and things like that. So they really are token gestures now for the coastline protection of ships coming through. A lot of the fishermen still in small boats still like to have it there as comfort. One of the comments that ships captains and officers have made that since the light's been turned off, they've lost a friend almost. And we'd like to turn it on again, but maybe one day.
Coming up after the break, we meet a young environmentalist determined to make a difference.
Join Australia for breakfast.
Good morning, I'm Joe O'Brien.
And I'm Virginia Trioli.
Enjoy a fresh approach to breakfast television.
A little bit more revealed there.
That's followed by Australian Network News.
Good morning.
And Business Today.
First, let's take a quick look at the markets.
Watch Australia start the day with ABC News Breakfast.
Monday, join the investigation team.
The dangerous scenario is that she could be anywhere with anyone.
In the search for missing loved ones.
The body was fully clothed.
Real people, real cases.
We just have to keep searching.
Missing Persons Unit, Monday on Australia Network.
I was 16 and was nominated for the Young Australian of the Year Awards. I actually made the finalist category in my state, which was massive considering that I was the youngest ever nominee.
I think it's largely to do with her bubbly personality that carries across to other people. The fact that she is not shy to come out front.
Okay guys, you know how we were talking about that mechanic with the oil? At the age of 10 I was doing my family's recycling every week, so cardboard got flattened, cans went out to the recycle bin and things like that. Going to an agricultural high school definitely helped me. I see the importance of farming and environmental fields working together.
What struck me about her first up, that she was a well-motivated lady right from the start. She would volunteer to do almost anything that there was a necessity to do.
On my first day of school, I met Liz. She basically took me under her wing because I was one of the students at Erbray that didn't know anyone else. She got me involved in the marsupial club, so I was hand raising orphan marsupials. So it really wasn't uncommon for me to have a possum tucked under my jumper or a joey around my neck. She mentored me and really made me strive for what I could achieve at the highest possible level.
When she was at school, she addressed 500 people at a conference up on the River Murray at Year 12 level, and from there on she hasn't looked back.
I was invited to give a keynote speech. The title of our talk was What's Down the Bottom End, because a lot of people forget that Adelaide, it's our main water source. So we spoke to kids, we ran workshops, things like that. It's all decomposing.
She became a leader in a new group